The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. In those days, when there again was a great crowd without anything to eat, Jesus summoned the disciples and said, "My heart is moved with pity for the crowd, because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them away hungry to their homes, they will collapse on the way. And some of them have come a great distance." His disciples answered him, Where can anyone get enough bread to satisfy them here in this deserted place?" Still he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They replied, 7. He ordered the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then taking the 7 loaves, he gave thanks, broke them, and gave them to his disciples to distribute, and they distributed them to the crowd. They also had a few fish. He said the blessing over them and ordered them distributed also. They ate and were satisfied. They picked up the fragments left over, 7 baskets. There were about 4,000 people. He dismissed the crowd and got into one of the boats with the disciples and came to the region of Dalmanutha. The Gospel of the Lord.
The great rebellion begins with man and woman. There was a previous one in the angelic realm, of course, Lucifer and his followers. But for the human race, this gospel tells us today of the aftermath. This reading from Genesis tells us the aftermath of man's rebellion. And now the earth will not satisfy man. You know, I make references to popular things because I'm somewhat conversant with these things. So the motto of James Bond's family, all right? MI6, books, movies. It's a fictitious character, but the motto of the family is Orbs nunquam satis. The world is not enough. That is one of the most true statements in the world. The world is not enough. After the fall, nothing is going to suffice on this earth. Not that it would have beforehand, except that before the fall, men and women walked with God. Sanctifying grace filled their souls, and the transition from here into eternity would have been like just being raptured, if you will. Okay, a transition without suffering, without death. It's changed now. The world will not be enough. And we have this promise, of course, about the forthcoming of Messiah and the woman who precedes him, because it is the woman who will give birth to the new Adam, the second Adam. The woman is our Blessed Lady Mary. God cannot be outdone in kindness and generosity. It's an oft-quoted old saying. It's so true. Huh? Just when you think, I've done it this time, I've had it, I'm going to be even damned, God has another idea, and he offers us a remedy out of hell, which does, in its own way, start in this life. Okay? This doesn't mean that every single person wants mercy, that wants another chance. But for those who do, God says, yes, I'll give you one. I'll give you chance after chance if I know that you will respond finally. Or because you are so weak, God could say, you are so weak that if I did not offer you another chance, I might as well forget that you ever existed, that I ever made you. But no, that is not God. Neither of the Old Testament or of the New. Okay? Don't fall for that old Gnostic lie. You've heard people say this, I'm sure. The God of the Old Testament is different from the God of the New. Below is the same God. God is not having a fight with himself. Okay? No. We just know more about God through Christ. What does our Lord do today? It's another of the miracles of feeding. For the skeptics, who say, see, look, one gospel has one miracle of feeding thousands, another gospel has two. Like our Lord could not have fed crowds once, twice, 12 times. Of course. This is another miracle of multiplication of loaves and fishes. But the significance of every one of these miracles, the only miracle that is spoken of in all four Gospels is the miracle of not curing the sick or driving out demons or raising a dead person, but this one, because it has to do with the food that will satisfy. It's a reference, it's a foreshadowing, a prophecy of the Blessed Sacrament. Okay? John, along with the other three Gospels, depicts this miracle, does he not, in chapter 6? Furthermore, John spends the rest of the chapter 6 in our Lord expounding, letting down the hammer repeatedly, relentlessly, unless you eat my body and drink my blood, you are lifeless. I've often said to people, in fact, if I've been talking to younger people, when Jesus gives you a taste for himself, he spoils you for anything else. The world is not enough. The food of the world is necessary for our bodies, but in the end, that is not enough. But the food that persists, that lasts unto eternity, which makes you and me now radiant images of grace, is the body and blood of Christ. Again, also made present by Our Lady, whose body is Christ's. Whose body? From Mary. From Mary. Her body, her blood. Her DNA, his DNA. Good Lord. Think about this. You want to see the representation of Christ on earth? You only had to look at his mom. Fantastic. Anyway, I pray that our Lord and our Blessed Lady will bless you through this time and reward you.